Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live chat. Now, this was supposed to be a Talk of the Crown episode, which obviously was postponed from Saturday, but a few things happened which kind of prevented me doing a full-scale Talk of the Crown episode. So, we're going to be doing a bit of a kind of stripped back, relaxed Sunday evening chat where we can talk about anything. So, if you are joining live right now, ask away, ask anything you want. The floor is open. But of course, the one thing that I do want to start with is Remembrance Sunday. So I just want to express, of course, um, you know, my own personal remembering, if you want, if you like, about all the sacrifices that the people, the ex-servicemen, the current serving servicemen and women, of course, that have lost their lives, and of course, those who are still serving that are putting their lives at risk right now. So this is not just about the First World War, the Second World War. This is also about remembering those who are sacrificing their lives for, well, in my case, for my country, but I think it's also a really good time for everybody around the world, no matter what country you're from, to just remember those who are sacrificing themselves, who have sacrificed themselves for your country. I mean, it might be a British thing this Sunday, but hey, use it as a chance to remember your own, servicemen and women that have gone before and that are currently servicing now. So I just want to say, that I remember those who have lost their lives, and I respect, of course, those who are currently putting their lives at risk for the safety of my nation and around the world for your own nations as well. So a big kiss for me, and for those of you who are watching on catch up, if you want to leave your own messages of support, or if you've lost a loved one, please leave a comment in the comment section. And I'm wearing my poppy as well. Now, I'm a bit disappointed actually today, because those of you who watch my weekly vlogs will know that my house is in a bit of a mess in terms of I've got boxes full of stuff everywhere whilst I'm doing home renovations. And I was sent this poppy for Remembrance Day, which I'm wearing now, but I was also sent a really lovely poppy brooch that had 3 poppies in it. Now, I came to find it, and it's somewhere in a box. It's somewhere in a box down the other end of the house that I can't get at. So, I really wanted to wear like a cluster of 3 poppies and then this poppy, but it didn't work out. So I haven't forgotten the brooch. I will wear it next year once I've sorted all my things out. So I just wanted to sort of point that out. One of the questions that people have been saying is, why do members of the royal family wear more than 1 poppy? And in particular, the Queen, of course, typically wears 5. Now, it's not known entirely, but one theory is that members of the royal family wear multiple poppies to represent different areas of the armed services. Now, of course, the Queen, as head of all of them, wears 5. So we think it's sort of one to represent each of the areas of the armed forces. So that's kind of like one theory. Of course, the Queen, being the most important as well, will wear the most poppies. So that's kind of, the main consensus on what that is. So I thought I'd just kind of say that as well. Right, I'm going to go to the top of the chat and start reading some comments. I can see lots of people are here. I think notifications are definitely going out. So hello to everyone who's made it live. And of course, hello to everyone who's watching on catch up. Yes, Jill Beck, it's a beautiful ceremony for freedom fighters. And like I say, I don't think it should be seen as just, an important ceremony for the UK and the Commonwealth as well, because I don't know if you actually managed to watch the whole ceremony where you were from, but, members of the Commonwealth are most definitely 100% represented at the Remembrance Day service. There were members of the Commonwealth coming and laying their wreaths, and politicians and foreign dignitaries and, like I said, representatives of the Commonwealth nations. So everybody was represented. I mean, if you looked around who was laying wreaths, everybody under the sun was represented. So, and like I say, even if you're not a member of if you're not a Commonwealth country, I still think this is just a really good occasion to remember your own country's fighters that have gone before, and those that are of course currently serving and sacrificing their lives for you, for us. And yes, it was a beautiful, it always is such a solemn occasion. And the Queen, oh my goodness, now I'm sure you've all seen a tear. Now, was it the cold or was it a tear? That is the question. But when I watched it, the look on her face, to me, it looked like a tear. I definitely think she was shedding a tear. So again, let me know in the comment section, did you think it was the cold or did you think she was actually weeping a tear? I think it was a tear, but hey, we'll see. Laurie Clark says, we're having a Veterans Day assembly at my school tomorrow. Yay. Since we don't get the day off, it's always a lovely service. Yes. And of course, it was a 2-minute silence. Now, those of you who saw my video earlier, okay. So, basically, the BBC has, because it was a BBC broadcast, they have blocked any replication of that content on YouTube across the whole board. Not just my channel, anybody who's posted any clips or whatever that aren't the BBC, it's been blocked. So that video, unfortunately, is no longer there. So yeah, I'm sorry, I can't bring you any footage. Any of the photographs that were taken that are on the Royal website and stuff like that, they're all press association. So I'm afraid you're going to have to just put up with me talking about the Remembrance Day service, because I did try, and unfortunately it's just got blocked all around the world. It's not just me, it's, you know, anybody who's tried to make a video using any of those sorts of clips, blocked. So, yeah. So I did try for you. So some of you may have seen it before it got blocked. Anyway, if you did, I hope you enjoyed it, because it was just a video of all the royal moments. Elise says, hello, brave soldiers, much love and respect. Yes, indeed. LD Pilble says, I learned today the poppies tradition was from America. Oh, I've not heard that one. Do explain. I've not heard about the poppies from America. Do explain. I'm just skipping down a few. Oh, All Sorts says, we commemorate tomorrow here in Canada. Of course, I mean, all of you will have your own Remembrance Days as well, but, you know, I think there is a particular spotlight on the British one, obviously because of the Queen and the royal family. You know, I think, I don't know, it's almost like a beacon, I think, for anybody to kind of remember. Janine, thank you. It's nice to see you all too. And hello to Anne as well. Hello to everyone. Now, I've just kind of scooted down and missed a few things. Hang on. Let me kind of scoot up to where I was as well. Okay, here I am. Caroline says, the ceremony was very emotional. It was done so well and left an impression on me. Yes, and like I say, the one thing that I really liked was, one of the things that I included in the blocked video was when all of the representatives of lots of the Commonwealth nations were up laying their wreaths as well. I think that was lovely. It really was lovely to see. All Sorts says, we will remember them today, tomorrow and forever indeed. Right. Sherry Blossom says, a heartfelt thanks to all the families and service members, both alive and dead, for all they have sacrificed so much to make the world a better place. Indeed. Oh, Vanilla says, I drew a special Remembrance Day drawing featuring the Queen, who has poppies growing all over her. One is covering her left eye. Aww. And I remember a few years ago when they had the poppies out of the Tower of London, and they were kind of falling down and cascading into the now dry moat of the tower, and that was a beautiful, beautiful thing. And the Queen did go and have a look at that as well. So your drawing reminded me of that. Linda says, in America we have Veterans Day, and it's tomorrow, the 11th. Do you know, I think they should have them all on the same day. Wouldn't that be good? John Williams says, my dad was in the Navy. He spent some time in England. The people were so nice to him, invited him to dinner. Yes. Yes, most definitely. The American soldiers were very welcome. In fact, lots of the British ladies liked the American men. They did. I remember my nan telling me. Constance says, my father fought in North Africa and Italy, where he met my mother. Again, yes, lots of romances, lots of wartime romances. I know. Skipping down a few. Oldie Poodle says, my grandmother put poppies in a vase many years ago for the day. Poppies is one of my favourite flowers, actually. And it was one of my nan who's no longer with us. That was one of her. That was her favourite flower as well. Elizabeth Regina Betsy says, I grew up with a poppy pin and will wear it tomorrow. That's lovely. I mean, you know, if you can find something like this. Oh, Catherine wore a pin as well today. Like I said, I think the others wore just the regular poppies, but Catherine did wear a pin today as well. So some people said they couldn't see Meghan. She was on the other balcony. It's fine. She was on the other balcony. And yeah, I mean, trying to squish 4 royal ladies on the same balcony. Nobody wants to squish the Queen, do they? So, you know, it's just a matter of logistics. Right, screw down as well. Elizabeth Regina says, I grew up in Seattle. I remember my dad wearing it too. That's so sweet to have, like, you know, something passed down that you can wear once a year. Right. Sorry if I'm skipping a few comments. Vanilla Flare Production says, you think it was definitely a tear. I think it was a tear. I really, really do. Yes, lots of people saying tear. Yes. And of course, the Duke of Edinburgh no longer attends public engagements, so his wreath was laid for him. That was the green wreath, the kind of all green wreath. And some people, I read comments about Prince Harry saying, you know, why hasn't he got something over Princess Anne and all this business? Well, for a start, Princess Anne has done a lot for the armed services. Yes, she's never been frontline or anything like that, but she has done throughout her life an awful lot for the armed services, and they really, really respect her. They really, really do. But it's my belief that I do think the Royal Marines is being kept for Harry. So those people saying, you know, why hasn't Harry got this? Why hasn't Harry got that? I do believe that the Royal Marines, which is currently still held by the Duke of Edinburgh, once obviously, you know, he's no longer here to do it, I do believe that one will fall to Harry. So, yes, it's just a matter of, you know, it's just a matter of, basically. Yeah, lots of people saying tear. They think it was a tear. I do. I think it was definitely a tear. Ethan the King says, Remembrance Sunday, unsurprisingly, it doesn't exist here. And lots of people saying about their different family members who served in different conflicts. Can the Queen come back on my channel for a Christmas special next month? I'm giving you that look. Sharona says, the Royal British Legion is one of the most special charities in my family. So much so we raised money at my dad's funeral. That's lovely. I mean, if you could really have a passion of something that you can raise money for, however, whichever way you can raise the money, then that is amazing. Jill has a poppy on her rearview mirror. Yes, it was an enamel pin for Catherine. Donna likes my beautiful collage of pins. Well, it's one. It's actually one. It's one big pin. Right, I'm going to kind of scoot down a little bit. It's in the King says, Prince Harry is already the head of the Royal Marines, appointed Captain General in 2017. I think what people were on about is they were kind of complaining about Princess Anne not having actually served. But what I'm talking about is the Duke of Edinburgh's wreath that he lays currently. I think that will go to Harry. I'm not entirely 100%, like, I don't think anything's actually been kind of announced to that effect, but it's my belief that I think that kind of thing will go to Harry. Especially seeing as you know, he has actually served on, you know, he's served active duty. So I think that. But yeah, the actual comment that I'm talking about was somebody said about Princess Anne. You know, she shouldn't be doing it because why is she laying a wreath because she's never served and all this business, which, you know, I thought was preposterous because Princess Anne has done a lot for the armed services, championing them, and she is very, very, very highly respected. Laya Tabis, I said that completely wrong, but you know who you are, says the Queen was rubbing her eye. It might have been a tear she was wiping. Who knows? The Queen looked really nice. She did indeed. Barbie says, when my mother died, I found a bundle of letters from her pen pal from England during the war. The letters are like a time capsule in history. I have something similar as well. I have an aunt's not an actual aunt, but like one of my nan's sisters. I have her wartime letters as well, and I know what you mean. I would love, as a project, to write them up into some kind of book because they are so interesting. It is a whole story. Which tiara am I wearing? It's the Queen's Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. There you go. Yeah, Prince Edward has never served active duty either. Shriner says, we raised £179. Wow, that's amazing. That is really, really, really good. Well done. Thumbs up. I didn't want to get my fans out because I thought it might be disrespectful to flap. I don't know. I've got visions of people saying it's disrespectful to flap a fan on such an occasion. I know. You've got to be so careful these days, people. People are so easily offended. Mrs. Smith says, when all the royals attend these engagements, they seem to stand in order of succession, hence why Camilla and Catherine were stood with the Queen. Yes, that is another point to make. Obviously, we've got two future queens and one current queen on the same balcony. And you can't squeeze them all on the same balcony. Everyone. Isilia Nelson says, Queen had a tear on her cheek, visible in the photo. Well, yeah, I mean, okay, it could have been a weepy eye from the cold, but personally, I watched it live, and, you know, the look on her face, to me, it looked like she was emotional and shedding a tear. But it still could have been the wind. I still got to put that out as well. Biz Burgess says, every year I find an event that I wasn't aware of. Today it was the brave actions of those who served on the Jarvis. They sacrificed so the supply convoy could escape and get supplies into the UK. My granddad served in the Second World War on the Arctic convoys, which I think was similar. It was about protecting the supply chain. Louisa says, watched as much as possible on the phone. Want very much to see the entire service of Remembrance from the Albert Hall. Yes, that was fantastic. And I did do a video on that, so do go and check that one out. It's only a quick one. It's just like the very, very start. Because you can't, obviously, post the whole thing. Palmy Stevens says, you crack me up. Like an egg. Tammy Brown says, I was glad to see Camilla on the balcony since she has been... Oh, yes, of course, she was ill. She had to cancel some engagements. I forgot I haven't done a live chat for a few days. Yes, so she did have to cancel some engagements. There was an announcement about that. It was believed to be like just a really bad cold and she'd lost her voice and all that kind of thing. So, a seasonal ailment. But she was there. She didn't have to do any talking at this engagement. So, you know, it's a case of just standing there. And she did that really, really well. She did her duty. But I'm still probably sure that she maybe didn't feel 100%. No, I'm not quite sure why the Duke of Gloucester didn't attend. But you're right, I didn't see him. Laurie Clark says, I know... Maybe he's got a touch of winter affliction as well. Laurie Clark says, I noticed they don't all salute the same. Some of them have different salutes. Isilia Nelson says, Prince Edward was in the Marines and he quit and got a roasting from his father and sister. Well, we don't know for sure if he actually got a roasting. I mean, you know, but I wouldn't have thought the Duke of Edinburgh in particular would have been fairly happy at that. However, sometimes you might not be cut out for those types of things. And I think he probably realised that perhaps he wasn't quite cut out for that type of role. Not everybody is. I think if you suddenly put me in the middle of the armed forces, I don't think I particularly... I don't know, I might surprise myself, but I'm not sure I do particularly well. Not really my thing. Sharona says, I have lots of heroes in my family going back 100 years. And yes, and of course that's why, that's what makes the people that do that sort of job extra special, that we have to be thankful for, because not everyone can do it. Does Camilla still smoke? Ooh, that's a question. I can imagine Camilla with a ciggy and a glass of, you know, something strong. You know, of an evening, she's there with a cut glass and a ciggy. Yeah. Oh, I can imagine it. Can't you imagine it, people? Yeah. Knocking those bevies back with a cigarette. Yes. You know she does it. Agent of the King says, Prince Philip was active during the war in the Navy. He fought in a few battles, including the Battle of Okinawa. Leslie says, loved Catherine's coat. Anyone know the design? Oh, you know what? I haven't looked. Maybe, you know what? I have got an article open. Let me scoot down, because they always do have a little bit about the fashion, don't they? I won't read prices, because I'm not terribly keen on that. But let me just kind of scoot down, because they do always have a little bit. And of course, Meghan was on the balcony next to Sophie as well. Let me just keep scooting. Now, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister. Now, I think he did make an attempt to comb his hair this time. I think. Right, where's the usual fashion bits? Right, I'm coming to the bits where they normally talk about it. I'll just keep flicking and then hopefully get to it. Right, no, I can't find the fashion thing. So someone might have to do a quick Google onto one of the royal fashion sites and just check for me. But no, ooh, maybe it says here. No. Meghan looked nice too, I have to say. She had quite a wide-brimmed hat, which I think, I don't know, it kind of strangely kind of like highlighted her face, because the brim was quite wide at the back as well. It kind of, I'm looking at a picture of it now. It kind of, yeah, it kind of almost like framed the face, I think, for such a wide brim. And of course, she was wearing a poppy as well. But yes, Catherine's jacket, very military, kind of military. It kind of like had the swags with the little tassels. Again, very nice with a nice pointy collar. But yes, I want to know who that's by as well. No, it just says a black coat, so I'm not entirely sure about that. No, it doesn't say in the article, I don't think, who the designer was. So if someone knows, do let me know. Right, I'm just going to kind of scoot up a little bit. Oh, hang on. Where are we? Oh, here we are. Oh, Greta Forbes, you're using the new sticker things. Look, YouTube told me there was a new sticker thing. So apparently you can now send stickers, and I didn't know what they looked like. So Clarita, thank you so much for sending a sticker, because I didn't know what they looked like. And you've sent me an avocado, or is that a pear? Laughing. Ha ha ha. And you donated $5 US. Thank you so much. I haven't got my fans, but mwah, thank you so much for using the sticker. I have no idea what other stickers there are that people can send. No clue. But thank you so much. Leslie said, loved Meghan's hat. She looked beautiful. Like I said, I think it kind of almost highlighted, for such a big hat that kind of has a brim that doesn't, like, the brim didn't go up. Usually, you know, if you've got a wider brim, it tends to go a little bit more up, so you can like really see the face. But this hat was quite clever, I think, because even though it had kind of a bit of a what I would call a dippy brim at the front, because it went back at the back, it kind of, you know, it set off her face. Do you get what I'm on about? I don't even know if I'm explaining it well, but hopefully you get what I'm on about. It kind of strangely highlighted the face. Ooh, what did Scott Goff notice? I'm just going up. Boris was a disgrace. He laid his wreath. I didn't notice upside down. Did he? Did he lay it upside down? I did. I missed that one. I was filming. Wow. Oh, I missed that. Wow. Okay, I am a little bit shocked at that. Vanilla Flair says, Her Majesty looked so sad. She deserves... Oh, yes. But Her Majesty is a pro. I mean, you know, the thing is, she's attended, you know, how many of these now? And I don't think she's missed many. And I'm sure there's a stat out there saying how many she has missed. But she hasn't missed many. And, you know, after all these years of doing it, to, you know, still be emotional and possibly shed a tear shows how much, I mean, how much it means to everyone, but in particular, those who have lived through two of the, you know, the big wars, the First World War, Second World War. I mean, obviously there's not many people left now, but, you know, it just goes to show how powerful living through that was. All these years later, all these services later, still emotional, still shed a tear. Christine says, I did like Meghan's hat. H.A. Bracken, yeah, the greatest generation is dying off. I can see why Her Majesty is sad. Yes. Coco says, Meghan looked pretty, no jewellery at all, and still very pretty. Yes, she did. I mean, to be honest, all the royal ladies looked good. I can't really fault any of them. I mean, all the outfits were black, obviously, out of respect. They were all different, though. They were all very, very different, but they were all equally as nice. I mean, you know, I can praise all of the I can find something to praise all the outfits over. None of them look bad. None of the outfits look terrible, which I thought was really good. And I have to say, the leader of the Liberal Democrats, Jo Swinson, female, she looked really good as well. You know, I'm taking out political, you know, political opinion and political leanings, but hey, she, you know, credit where it's due. Credit where credit's due. She looked good. She did look good. Adrian the King says, I very much like the hymn, O God, our help in ages past. All those hymns are really powerful. Of course, the last post as well. You know, that was very moving as well. All the clergy came out too, and yeah, just everyone was represented. I can't think of, you know, a nation or you know, a sector that wasn't represented there. H.M. the King says Jo Swinson is worth an honourable mention. Yes, definitely. And yeah, she was. I remember, you know, watching her go up to lay her wreath, and I thought, girl scrubs up well. She did. She scrubbed it up well. Comino says, first to give thumbs up. Oh, thank you. Yes, please give me the thumbs up. Oh yes, God Save the Queen at the end. Yes, of course, we have to have the God Save the Queen. The national anthem was very good. Scott Goff says, the last post always makes me emotional. Yes, it's very somber, but yet it's simple but powerful. Vanilla Flair Productions says the teardrop shows the Queen is pure of heart. She cares, and of course, like I say, she has a lived experience of going through it. She is of the wartime generation. Sharona, that is perfectly fine. You can post a picture of your tattoo, of your poppy tattoo. That would be lovely. I'm sure lots of people would love to see that in the Facebook group. Vanilla Flair Productions. God Save the Queen is the Queen's theme song. Yes, it is. Jan says, Catherine's coat was wonderful. Any other colour would have looked like Sergeant Pepper. Yeah, it was a little bit, but in black, it looked good, but still had a bit of flair about it, I have to say. Isilia says, the Queen is short, 5'4". Remember that her generation tended to be short. Each succeeding generation is taller. Yes, but also, as you do get older, you do lose a bit of height. I know, I'm dreading it. I'm already short anyway. So, yeah, as you get older, you do, you know, shrink back a little bit. It's the old bones. And also, if you do get a bit of a, as you do, you go a bit hunched, you also lose a bit of height there too. So, yeah, you know, she's not as tall as she was. But no, she's never been tall. Oli Poodle says the bells chime the same tone for Diana's funeral. And Henry King says, have you seen footage of the first Cenotaph Sunday? It looked so unorganised. No, I haven't. George V just walks up with a hue wreath and walks off without saluting. I think over the years it's been perfected. I think that's pretty safe to say that they have it down to a pretty oiled machine. If you looked before they laid the wreaths, you could see all of the on the cenotaph, all of the wreaths were actually outlined in chalk and numbered, so everyone would have known which side of the cenotaph they were going to lay. They'd have known which group they were going to go up in, or if they were individuals, they would have known what number to place their wreath on. Obviously, I think Boris got it a bit wrong, didn't he? I don't know, maybe he got a flap of blonde hair in his eyes. I don't know. But anyway, yes, it's now a very well-oiled machine. But yeah, I mean, I can imagine the very first one, they probably hadn't perfected it. Yes, Princess Anne with the men. No fuss, no nonsense. Good old Princess Anne. Get in there, Anne. You can do it, girl. Do it for Britain, girl. Yes. She's the good old Hevo Princess Anne. She's a good sort, that Princess Anne. So she's definitely earned her place up there amongst the men. Isn't people go on about female empowerment. Look no further than Princess Anne. I mean, my goodness, people want a good, strong, solid female role model. Look no further than Princess Anne. She's been doing it for years, my loves. Very underrated. Nathan the King says, wouldn't have been his first mistake anyway, so we'll let him off. Good old Boris. Italia says, short or not, for someone going on to 94 years, the Queen always looks good. She really is a goddess. Total goddess. Goddess amongst humans. Jojo says, your notice for this live chat just popped up on my computer. Better late than never, indeed. PJR, I'm laughing at that comment. Vanilla says, Anne, be flirting with all the guys. Ooh, she's a sort, that Princess Anne. Lynn says, absolutely, you are correct. Princess Anne is the epitome of a worker. Indeed. Coco says, order of precedence is different from order of succession. Yeah, seating follows orders of precedence where William is after Andrew and Edward, but it changed for William to follow Prince Charles. Black Aristo says, I wish Princess Royal had been given more credit for all she has done over the years. She is a brick. She's just she doesn't, she doesn't blow her own trumpet. She's not after the attention. She's not after the limelight. She's not after clicks or views or, she's not after anything. I'm not saying any other royals are after it, but, a lot of certain royals get more attention than others, and Princess Anne doesn't really care. I literally don't think she cares. I actually think she'd probably rather, go a bit more, under the radar. So yeah, she just does it because, hey, she probably gets done 50 million engagements before breakfast. You know what Princess Anne's like. Vanilla Flair thinks the Queen's spirit animal is the fox because the fox is known to be elegant, clever, and with a sharp sense of humour. Kitchen King says, you just wanted to give Her Majesty a hug. She always looks like a munchkin from the Wizard of Oz. What? When she stands beside Catherine or William. Munchkin? How dare you? How very, very dare you? To the tower. I will not have the Queen called a munchkin. PJR says, I would never want to cross Princess Anne. Holy cow, no. Don't cross Princess... Look, have any of the royal reporters tried it on with Princess Anne? Have they? I'm waiting for your answers. No, they have not. Because she... face the wrath. You wouldn't want to, would you? Yes, no one. I can curtsy like Princess Anne. My goodness. Whoops. You go. There you go. Curtsy like Anne. I can do it. Do you think how do I think Prince Philip is doing? Well, we've heard no bad news, so it must be good news. No news is good news. Robin says, Princess Anne grew up in a time when females were not as empowered as they are today, which makes her even more special. Because she's done it in a time when, these issues weren't spoken about like they are now. And actually, I have, on good authority, I was having a conversation today, the last couple of days, that actually, in British schools, in terms of results, in terms of exam results, girls are actually outperforming boys for the first time in certain subjects like sciences and maths, which were traditionally boys were ahead. So in the UK at the moment, girls statistically are actually higher achievers than boys, and that's because we think that they have more of a desire to do well. So all of the work that's going on at the moment with female empowerment and females in education is actually paying off on the ground. We are actually seeing results of that. I need to have a cough. Maybe I need a drink. I haven't got one. So actually we are seeing the fruits of all of these open conversations actually going on at the moment. So there we go. I just thought I'd kind of point that out as well. Did you all like my curtsy? Yes, people loved it. Thank you. Haitian the King says, Her Royal Highness Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, detests fruit salad. Yes, indeed. Ellie Poole says, I love Anne. Then again, my mother was a bit like her. Hi to Karen K, first time in chat. Celia says, I love Anne, no nonsense, and does not suffer fools. She's a hard worker. Oh, yeah, and I got chills when Big Ben told as well, yes. Yeah, Anne has got no time nonsense. She's got no time for nonsense because she's got to get to another engagement. She gets about 20 in a day. Okay, I've exaggerated, but you get my drift, She's, she racks them up, doesn't she? It's fruit salad. Terry Young says, come to think of it, I don't think the press has ever come after her negatively. Would you? No. Have some hot soup. Do you know what? I fancy a hot drink. I don't know what. Maybe a ginger, honey and lemon. Francis S says, is it girls doing better or boys doing less well? Well, I'm not entirely sure, so I can't answer your question. I haven't seen the stats, but I did have a conversation where the girls are outperforming the boys for the first time. And one of the things that was mentioned as a reason why is because the girls have more desire at the moment. They are really striving to achieve. And I think that possibly is a result of all of the work that's been done around opening up the conversation around female empowerment and achievement and girls generally in education. Adrian the King says, they did come after her when her marriage was falling apart. They honoured her. There's a clip of her giving them stick. And they didn't do it again, did they, after she fought back? Now, I mean, another time, obviously, she's had, when she was held up in the car on the Mall, there was, an incident with a gun and the car was stopped. So, there was lots of press attention around that. I mean, in terms of marriage falling apart, I mean, I wouldn't quite put it in quite the same spectacle as what we see today. But yes, I mean, it was reported about. And tittle-tattled about. Mariel says, Princess Anne sorted out the British press a very long time ago, so now they leave her well alone. Maybe lessons to be learned. I'm just reading through. Leslie says, go girls in STEM. Yes. The initiatives are working. Yes, they are. like I say, I've been having a conversation, and as you know, I used to work in education, so I've still got my connections in education. So yeah, that's what I've been told. Right, now, I've been on for quite a while, and in half an hour, I am premiering my weekly vlog about my life on my other channel, Elliot's British Life. So, I'm hoping to see as many of you as possible at 12 AM UK time, which is only 30 minutes away. So I'm going to wrap this video up, and I hope you've enjoyed my little kind of quick, chat about Remembrance Day and lots of other questions and comments that you've asked me. So, I have put the link to my live chat in the community page section of this channel. So if you want to find the link, it's there. Right, I'm going to wrap this up. So I hope to see you in my weekly vlog. Right, if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share it on social media, and also do hit that bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. Also, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. So from me in Shropshire, mwah to you all, and goodbye.